Halo here, and I am coming to you from the Bass Lake Hiking Trail in Ely, Minnesota. Couldn't remember what it was for a second there. And I am out here on a training hike. I'm going to go over some of my gear for my upcoming Superior Hiking Trail through hike attempt. So stay tuned. I have made it to one of the approved backpacking sites here on Bass Lake Trail. You can see the picnic table has definitely seen the end of its days. All right, let me talk about the pack that I'm going to be bringing. I use the Gossamer Gear Gorilla. It is 40 liters. The things I like about this pack, I love the giant mesh out in the front. I generally carry my tent here. I carry my toilet supplies, that kind of a thing. I love the side pockets, the hip pockets, sorry about that. They are enormous. I can carry my snacks for the day. My phone can go in there. Boy, just about anything I may want to be able to grab while I'm still going fits into that. And the water bottle pockets are huge. I can fit 2 bottles on each side with no problem. Things I do not like about this pack. It rests right on my back. And so it is hot, hot, hot. This is generally filled with a lot of sweat by the end of the day. Well, shoot, partway through the day. This is actually the sit pad. It's built into the backpack, which is nice. I don't have to worry about packing one. And it also comes with a whistle. Hey. I do hike in Ultras. Currently, I am wearing the Temps, but for this upcoming hike, I am going to switch to the Lone Peaks. Going to give those a shot. Also, for this hike, I have purchased some Dirty Girl Gaiters. Going to give those a shot, see how I like it. My trekking poles are Lakey. I think that's Cressida, I don't know, depends on how fancy you want to get with it. They are cork grip made for women. And one of the best parts about getting Lakey poles is they do service them. So in 2019, when we were at Trail Days, they cleaned my poles. They put new tips on for free. I mean, the grips were like new. Oh my goodness, they were fantastic. So very pleased with Lakey's taking care of their customer, especially at something like Trail Days. So if you're able to get to one of their booths, see if they're still doing that. For my sleep system, I'm going to use my husband's duplex tent. It is the tent that he used on his 2017 AT through hike. So after his through hike, there were a couple of things that needed like fixed on it. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but while it was there, I'm sitting on the thing, Z-Packs went ahead and repaired the mesh down here. There are little bitty holes from, bugs or whatever. So Z-Packs repaired that. They repaired a couple little bitty tiny pinholes in the bathtub portion of it, and then even one or two that were in the actual part of the tent itself. And so that was really nice. They put new guy lines on. It was a fantastic thing that they did for him. And so this tent not only has the 2,200 miles from his AT through hike, but we have been using it steadily since then. So lots of miles on this tent. It's really held up well and worth every penny that we paid for it. I got a more deluxe pillow. I went with the X-Ped. It has a down filling right here, and then the rest of it is air. Really excited. I took this on one of my hikes just recently out to the Angleworm Trail here in Ely, Minnesota, and I slept great on it. One of my complaints about my previous Sea to Summit pillow was that it was just so small, I needed to prop it up a little bit more. And this one, I did not need to do that. It does weigh 4 ounces more than my other pillow, but I'm okay with that. I am going to be taking my women's NeoAir X Lite sleeping pad. It is the one that I typically use when I'm backpacking. I've kicked around taking the X-Therm that we own, but I don't think the temperatures are going to drop enough to warrant needing that. But what I did do is I have switched out my trusty REI Jewel in exchange for my husband's Enlightened Equipment Revelation. I almost said Junior. That's the kids'. Oh, and so this is actually a 10-degree sleeping bag, but it was the old style from Enlightened Equipment back when they weren't filling it quite enough. And so it's actually more of like a 20 to a 30-degree sleeping bag. And so it's going to save me quite a bit of weight not taking my Jewel. And so that's where I've justified not using my green Sea to Summit pillow and taking this instead. I'm saving quite a bit of weight in my sleeping system with my sleeping quilt instead of the bag. For my sleep clothes, I have a wool blend typical base layer. It's Mammoth, and it keeps me toasty warm. And I've had it since my husband's 2017 through hike. I trust it. And the last piece of gear that I'm going to talk about is my water filtration system. I have decided to go with the BeFree. My husband has been using that. He started using it at the end of his through hike on the AT. And I was reluctant to start using it. I don't know why, but I'm going to go ahead and go with that. But he has asked me to go ahead and bring my Sawyer because we are in the middle of a drought up here in northern Minnesota, and he's afraid that the BeFree filter can get clogged, and there's really no good way to get it unclogged. And so the water sources could be pretty bad, I might need to pre-filter. And so just in case, he's asked me to bring my my Sawyer Micro. And so I'm going to do that. I was going to go ahead and bring my platypus bag anyway, just because I might need to carry more water depending on what the sources are like, because most creeks are dry and the rivers are getting pretty low. So that's the last piece of gear that I'm going to talk about as far as what I'm bringing. And behind me is the rest of my gear. As I said, I'm not going to talk about the rest of it, but if you do have a question about something I'm bringing, you can go ahead and ask it down below, and I'll try to get to it before I take off on my hike. I am leaving in just a couple of days. I'm getting really excited. So I will see you on down the trail.